The allure of the unknown has always captivated the human imagination, drawing us into a realm of mystery that transcends the limits of our understanding. Throughout history, humanity has looked to the stars, wondering if we are alone in the vast expanse of the universe, or if other beings share our existence. The idea of alien life is both fascinating and unsettling, an idea that blurs the lines between science fiction and reality. For some, these questions remain theoretical, bound by speculation and conjecture. But for others, the answers may lie in the strange and terrifying accounts of alien abductions, stories that not only stir fear and curiosity, but often come with evidence that cannot be easily dismissed. Alien abduction narratives are not new. They have existed in various forms across cultures and centuries. However, it wasn't until the mid-20th century, particularly after the infamous Roswell incident of 1947, that alien abductions became a significant part of modern folklore. Since then, thousands of individuals across the world have reported strange encounters where they claim to have been taken against their will by extraterrestrial beings. These stories, often accompanied by unsettling physical evidence, paint a picture of an unexplained phenomenon that refuses to be simply ignored or dismissed. And yet, despite the prevalence of these stories, there is still no clear consensus on what is truly happening. Are these abductions real? Or are they the result of overactive imaginations, misinterpretations, or psychological phenomena? One thing is certain: these stories are deeply affecting for those who experience them. Witnesses report vivid memories of being taken aboard strange crafts, subjected to bizarre and sometimes invasive procedures, and returned to Earth with no clear understanding of what occurred. In some cases, physical evidence has been found: implants, unusual scars, and markings that don't appear to have any clear explanation. The psychological toll on abductees is also profound. Many speak of the fear, confusion, and isolation they feel, as well as the sense of having been forever changed by their experiences. The idea of being taken from your life, your loved ones, and transported into an unknown world is a terrifying concept. Yet for many, the fear is matched only by the overwhelming sense of intrigue. What if these abductions are not just figments of imagination, but a glimpse into something beyond our comprehension? This script will explore the experiences of those who claim to have been abducted by aliens, along with the physical evidence they present to support their stories. The goal is not to sensationalize or exploit these accounts, but to provide a thoughtful and balanced look at one of the most mysterious and controversial phenomena of our time. The stories shared here are grounded in real-life experiences, many of which are backed by medical reports, physical traces, and credible eyewitness accounts. While some may remain skeptical, it is difficult to ignore the fact that these abduction stories persist across cultures, time periods, and social backgrounds. Something about them resonates with people on a deep, emotional level, a sense of wonder, fear, and curiosity that is hard to dismiss as mere coincidence. As we delve deeper into the world of alien abductions, we will examine not only the personal experiences of those involved, but also the broader historical context that has shaped our understanding of these events. We will explore the role of government investigations, the media's portrayal of the phenomenon, and the psychological theories that attempt to explain why so many people report similar experiences. Above all, we will seek to answer one fundamental question: what is the true nature of these abductions, and what might they reveal about our place in the universe? The journey ahead is one of both relaxation and mystery. As we navigate through the strange and often unsettling world of alien encounters, the goal is not just to inform, but to allow space for reflection. The answers, if they exist, may not be clear-cut, but the quest for understanding, the search for truth in the face of the unknown, is one that continues to drive us forward. It is a journey that many feel drawn to, even if they do not know where it will lead. The idea of alien abductions is not a modern invention. It has roots that stretch back into ancient history, long before the term UFO was ever coined. Throughout history, there have been countless accounts of people experiencing strange, unexplainable phenomena that resemble what we now understand as alien encounters. These encounters often had a divine or supernatural interpretation, with witnesses believing they had encountered gods, spirits, or otherworldly beings. In ancient cultures, it was common to speak of gods descending from the sky, interacting with humans, or even taking them away to distant realms. These stories, while framed in religious or mythological language, share remarkable similarities with modern-day abduction accounts. Take, for example, the biblical account of Ezekiel's vision. In the Old Testament, the prophet Ezekiel describes a celestial event in which he witnesses a fiery chariot descending from the sky, driven by mysterious beings. The description of the craft, its appearance, and the beings within it shares striking similarities with modern UFO reports. In ancient Sumerian texts, there are references to Anunnaki, beings who came down from the heavens and interacted with humans. The narrative of gods coming from the sky is a recurring theme across different ancient cultures, whether it's the ancient Egyptians, Greeks, or Native American tribes. These mythologies, although interpreted in religious terms, often describe experiences of contact with beings from above, experiences that today might be described as alien abductions. As centuries passed, the nature of these encounters shifted, but the basic framework of people being taken, altered, or returned remained constant. During the 20th century, however, a significant change occurred in how people viewed these experiences. With the rise of modern science fiction and the increasing fascination with space exploration, the idea of extraterrestrial beings began to take a more concrete shape. No longer were encounters with heavenly beings seen purely in religious terms, but as possible encounters with beings from other planets or distant galaxies. The 1947 Roswell incident marked a pivotal moment in the modern history of UFO sightings and alien abductions. Following the crash of an unidentified object near Roswell, New Mexico, rumors of a government cover-up and alien bodies fueled public interest in extraterrestrial life. From that point onward, the notion of aliens as physical beings from other worlds became firmly embedded in the public consciousness. One of the most notable early abduction accounts is the 1961 case of Betty and Barney Hill. This was the first widely publicized alien abduction story, and it occurred during a time when UFOs were becoming increasingly prominent in the media. The Hills, a married couple traveling through New Hampshire, claimed to have been abducted by aliens and taken aboard a spacecraft. They reported experiencing medical examinations, being shown a star map, and later suffering from amnesia. Their story, while sensationalized in the media, was one of the first to include elements that are now commonly associated with alien abduction narratives, such as missing time, memory gaps, and physical examination. Their account is often cited as the birth of the modern alien abduction phenomenon. The 1960s and 1970s saw a proliferation of abduction reports, with many individuals coming forward to share similar stories of being taken by extraterrestrials. These accounts, though diverse in their details, often contained key elements: a bright light, a hovering craft, strange beings, and a sense of fear or disorientation. Many of the people who came forward to share their stories did so in a public forum, helping to build a collective narrative around alien abductions. At the same time, however, these accounts were also met with skepticism and ridicule. Critics argued that these experiences were the result of vivid dreams, sleep paralysis, or psychological stress, suggesting that the mind was playing tricks on the individuals involved. Despite the skepticism, the number of abduction stories continued to rise, and the phenomenon became a fixture of popular culture. By the 1980s, alien abductions had become a mainstream topic of conversation. Books, documentaries, and television shows began exploring the subject in depth. While some accounts were sensationalized for entertainment purposes, others were taken seriously by researchers and investigators who sought to uncover the truth behind these mysterious events. The rise of hypnotic regression therapy also played a role in the abduction phenomenon, as many individuals underwent hypnosis in an attempt to recover lost memories of their experiences. This method, however, is controversial, as it raises questions about the reliability of memories that are recovered under hypnosis. In the decades that followed, alien abduction stories continued to evolve, with new cases emerging and old ones being re-examined. The stories shared by witnesses often retained the same core elements: yet there were notable variations in the details. Some claimed to have been taken aboard a craft and examined by beings with large eyes and gray skin, while others described interactions with entities that were more insect-like or reptilian. The sheer variety of experiences suggests that either these encounters are the result of different types of phenomena, or that the human mind is interpreting the experience in a variety of ways, depending on cultural and psychological factors. As we move forward into the present day, the phenomenon of alien abductions continues to be a topic of fascination. While some remain skeptical, others are convinced that something extraordinary is happening, something that challenges our understanding of the universe. Whether these abductions are the result of extraterrestrial encounters, government experimentation, or psychological factors, the stories continue to intrigue, mystify, and captivate those who hear them. The historical context of these experiences provides a framework for understanding how the concept of alien abduction has evolved over time, from ancient mythologies to modern-day phenomena. The thread that ties them all together is the deep sense of mystery and wonder that surrounds the unknown, a mystery that has yet to be unraveled. The personal accounts of those who claim to have been abducted by extraterrestrial beings are among the most chilling and perplexing aspects of the UFO phenomenon. These first-hand testimonies often share similar elements, yet the experiences of each individual are deeply personal, each one leaving a unique mark on their lives. Whether these encounters are a result of external, otherworldly forces or internal psychological phenomena, the stories are compelling and difficult to ignore. For those who have lived through them, these abductions are not just stories. They are life-altering events that challenge their sense of reality. One of the most well-known and extensively documented cases is that of Betty and Barney Hill. In 1961, the couple was driving through the isolated New Hampshire countryside when they noticed a strange light in the sky. What followed was a bizarre encounter in which they were taken aboard an unidentified craft. During their time aboard the spacecraft, the Hills were subjected to medical examinations by beings that they described as having large, almond-shaped eyes and grayish skin. Betty, in particular, reported a vivid dreamlike sequence in which she was shown a star map, something she later drew under hypnosis. This star map became a focal point of their case, as it seemed to depict a constellation that was unknown to them at the time, but later identified as being consistent with a real star formation. The Hills case was groundbreaking, not only because it was one of the first alien abduction stories to gain wide public attention, but also because of the level of detail and consistency in their testimony. The Hills had no prior knowledge of the star map, and their memories of the abduction were recovered under hypnosis, raising both the credibility of their story and the skepticism surrounding the reliability of memories retrieved through such means. While some have dismissed their experience as a product of sleep paralysis or vivid dreams, the Hills case remains one of the most famous and enduring examples of alien abduction in popular culture. In the years that followed, other individuals came forward with similar stories. One such case is the 1975 abduction of Travis Walton, a logger in Arizona. Walton's story is particularly striking because it involved a group of witnesses. While working with his crew in a remote area of the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest, Walton was struck by a bright light and seemingly disappeared. His co-workers, who witnessed the event, initially feared that Walton had been killed, but when he was found 5 days later, he had no memory of where he had been or what had happened. Walton's account of his abduction is chilling. He recalls waking up aboard a spacecraft surrounded by strange beings who subjected him to a series of medical procedures. His story was supported by the testimonies of his co-workers who passed lie detector tests, and his experience was widely publicized, becoming the subject of the 1993 film Fire in the Sky. While Walton's case was unique in that it involved multiple witnesses, it shares many similarities with other abduction stories. The sense of missing time, the medical examinations, and the terrifying encounter with alien beings are all common themes in abduction narratives. What makes Walton's story particularly compelling, however, is the level of corroboration from those who were with him. The fact that his co-workers saw him disappear and that Walton passed a polygraph test only added weight to his account. And yet, despite the compelling nature of his story, many still remain skeptical, questioning whether Walton's memory of the event was influenced by the media coverage or whether he was simply caught up in the growing trend of alien abduction claims. Other abduction stories, such as those of the Pascagoula incident in 1973, involve individuals who describe their encounters in vivid detail. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker, two men fishing near Pascagoula, Mississippi, were reportedly taken aboard a craft by robotic creatures with claws. They described being subjected to a medical examination and then returned to the spot where they had been. Hickson, in particular, showed signs of extreme trauma after the incident, claiming that he was unable to shake the emotional and psychological effects of the experience. The Pascagoula case was significant not only because of its physical evidence. Hickson and Parker underwent medical examinations and showed signs of unusual marks, but also because of the psychological effects it had on the men. Hickson, in particular, suffered from nightmares and severe anxiety, which he attributed to his encounter with the extraterrestrial beings. These accounts, while varied in their specifics, all share common elements: a sense of powerlessness, fear, and disorientation. Abductees often describe a feeling of being paralyzed or unable to move, a sensation that is reminiscent of sleep paralysis. They report being taken aboard a spacecraft, often against their will, and subjected to medical procedures that leave them feeling violated and confused. In many cases, there is a period of missing time, during which the abductee has no memory of the events that transpired. These missing hours or days are often recovered through hypnosis, although the reliability of such memories is widely debated. Psychologists and skeptics have offered various explanations for these experiences, suggesting that they may be the result of sleep disorders, hallucinations, or even the power of suggestion. Sleep paralysis, a phenomenon in which a person experiences a sense of paralysis while transitioning between sleep and wakefulness, has been cited as a possible explanation for the feelings of being held down or trapped during an abduction experience. Others suggest that the memories of abductions may be false memories implanted through media exposure or hypnosis. Despite these theories, many abductees remain convinced that what they experienced was real, and their accounts continue to add weight to the growing body of evidence that something extraordinary is occurring. For those who have lived through these encounters, the effects are often lifelong. Many find themselves grappling with feelings of isolation and disbelief, both from others and from themselves. They are often left questioning their sanity, as they struggle to make sense of what happened. And yet, despite the skepticism and ridicule that often accompanies these stories, the number of people who report similar experiences continues to grow. Whether these stories are the result of extraterrestrial contact or something else entirely, they are a testament to the deep human need for answers in the face of the unknown. The involvement of government agencies and the media has played a crucial role in shaping the public's perception of alien abductions. While many individuals report their experiences with sincerity and a sense of urgency, the response from official channels has often been dismissive or secretive. This dichotomy has fueled both the skepticism surrounding abduction stories and the belief in a cover-up. On one hand, government investigations into UFO sightings and alien encounters, such as the declassified Project Blue Book, suggest that some official bodies have at least acknowledged the existence of unexplained phenomena. On the other hand, the media, which often sensationalizes such encounters, has contributed to the overall mystique of alien abductions, making it harder to separate fact from fiction. Project Blue Book, initiated by the U.S. Air Force in the late 1950s, was one of the most prominent government investigations into UFO sightings. The project aimed to determine whether UFOs posed a threat to national security and to scientifically analyze the growing number of sightings. Over its 17-year run, Project Blue Book investigated thousands of UFO reports, many of which involved claims of alien contact or abduction. While the project concluded that most sightings could be explained by natural or man-made phenomena, a small percentage of cases remained unexplained. Some of these unexplained cases involved disturbing reports of missing time, strange markings on the body, and encounters with humanoid beings, elements that are commonly found in abduction stories. However, the official stance taken by the government was often one of skepticism and dismissal. In many instances, abduction claims were brushed off as the result of hoaxes, psychological issues, or misinterpretations of mundane events. The lack of a serious, transparent investigation into these reports led many to believe that the government was actively hiding the truth about extraterrestrial contact. The notion of a government cover-up has been a central theme in UFO and alien abduction lore. Some conspiracy theorists argue that government agencies, particularly the military, have been in contact with extraterrestrial beings for decades, but are deliberately withholding information from the public. The secrecy surrounding certain high-profile UFO sightings, such as the 1947 Roswell incident, has only added fuel to these theories. The media has also played a significant role in shaping how alien abductions are perceived. In the 1950s and 1960s, UFO sightings and encounters with extraterrestrials began to be covered more extensively by the press. While some early reports were treated with curiosity and a sense of wonder, others were sensationalized to the point of ridicule. As the phenomenon gained traction in popular culture, the media's portrayal of alien abductions became more dramatic and exaggerated. The 1970s and 1980s saw a surge in UFO-themed movies, books, and television shows, many of which depicted abductions as terrifying, otherworldly experiences. The movie Close Encounters of a Third Kind, 1977, and the popular TV series The X-Files, 1993, are prime examples of how the media both reflected and shaped the public's perception of alien contact. While these portrayals contributed to the allure and mystery of the abduction phenomenon, they also introduced a layer of skepticism. The line between real-life experiences and fictionalized accounts became increasingly blurred. The public began to question whether the stories being shared by abductees were genuine or simply the result of media influence. As documentaries, books, and even fictionalized television dramas began to focus on abduction stories, many skeptics argued that the rise in abduction claims was in part due to the media's portrayal of these events. For some, the proliferation of UFO-related content led them to believe that people were influenced by what they saw on screen, leading to false memories or even deliberate fabrications. Despite the skepticism, many abduction reports continued to surface, and the increasing number of these accounts led to some media outlets and researchers taking the phenomenon more seriously. Researchers like Dr. John Mack, a Harvard psychiatrist, explored the psychological and cultural dimensions of abduction stories. Dr. Mack, in particular, argued that these experiences could not be easily dismissed as hallucinations or sleep disorders. He conducted in-depth interviews with numerous abduction claimants and found that many of them displayed no signs of mental illness or delusion. His work sparked a more serious academic interest in alien abductions, although it also attracted significant criticism from both the scientific community and the media. The tension between official government responses and the media's portrayal of abductions continues to fuel the debate over the legitimacy of these experiences. While the government maintains that there is no concrete evidence of extraterrestrial life or alien abductions, many individuals remain convinced that the truth is being hidden from the public. The combination of official dismissal and sensationalized media depictions has created a climate of uncertainty, where it is difficult to discern what is real and what is fabricated. For some, the lack of transparency only strengthens the belief that a vast conspiracy exists, one that keeps the true nature of alien encounters hidden from view. On the other hand, the media's influence cannot be overlooked. While it has helped to shape the cultural narrative around alien abductions, it has also contributed to the normalization of the phenomenon. What was once considered fringe or outlandish is now part of mainstream discourse, with countless documentaries, books, and podcasts exploring these topics in depth. The increasing interest in UFOs and alien life, fueled in part by government disclosures, such as the 2020 Pentagon UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, report, has further complicated the narrative. With both government agencies and media outlets increasingly acknowledging the mystery surrounding UFOs, the line between skepticism and belief continues to shift. For those who claim to have been abducted, The struggle is not just with the public's disbelief, but with the feeling that their experiences are either trivialized or ignored. While the media may help bring their stories to light, it often does so in ways that reduce their experiences to mere entertainment. Government investigations, meanwhile, are often perceived as inadequate or dismissive, leaving many abductees feeling isolated and frustrated. Despite this, the continued public interest in UFOs and alien abductions suggests that the quest for answers is far from over. As more information emerges, the role of government and media in shaping our understanding of these phenomena will remain crucial in uncovering the truth. One of the most compelling aspects of alien abduction stories is the physical evidence that often accompanies them. While eyewitness testimonies and detailed accounts of bizarre encounters are at the heart of these narratives, the discovery of physical traces and unexplained marks on the bodies of abductees adds a layer of credibility to these experiences. These pieces of evidence, while sometimes controversial, suggest that something extraordinary may be occurring. They prompt further investigation into whether these encounters are the result of extraterrestrial contact, government experimentation, or a completely different phenomenon altogether. Perhaps one of the most famous instances of physical evidence in an abduction case is the story of Barney and Betty Hill. In addition to their vivid recollections of being taken aboard a spacecraft and examined by extraterrestrial beings, the Hills reported finding unusual marks on their skin. Barney, in particular, noticed a series of small, circular puncture wounds on his body after the abduction, which were never fully explained. Later, when the Hills underwent medical examinations, doctors found that Betty's clothing had been torn in a way that didn't seem consistent with normal wear and tear, adding to the mystery surrounding their experience. While some skeptics have argued that these physical marks could have been the result of environmental factors or a natural medical condition, the Hill case remains one of the most notable examples where physical evidence seemingly corroborates an abduction experience. Another well-known example is the case of Travis Walton, whose abduction in 1975 was witnessed by a group of his co-workers. When Walton reappeared after 5 days, he showed physical signs that further fueled belief in the authenticity of his story. Walton's co-workers, who had seen him disappear, were questioned by authorities and passed polygraph tests, which added credibility to their accounts. Walton himself reported feeling disoriented and traumatized upon his return, and he was later examined by doctors who noted that his body temperature had dropped significantly during the time he was missing. Some even speculated that Walton had been subjected to some form of medical examination during his abduction, citing his bizarre physical condition and his recollection of being on board a spacecraft. In some cases, people have reported finding small, metallic objects embedded in their bodies after their alleged abductions. These objects, often referred to as implants, have been a focal point of UFO research for decades. One of the most famous cases involving an implant is that of Charles Hickson, who, along with his fishing companion Calvin Parker, was allegedly taken aboard a UFO near Pascagoula, Mississippi, in 1973. Both men reported having been subjected to strange medical procedures while aboard the craft. Hickson, in particular, reported feeling a sense of paralysis during the encounter, as well as finding a small, foreign object embedded in his leg after the abduction. Subsequent medical examinations revealed that Hickson had a small object embedded in his leg, but the object was never conclusively identified as anything extraterrestrial. Despite the lack of a definitive explanation, many researchers believe that the object could have been a form of implant, though some skeptics suggest it might have been a piece of debris or something else entirely. Implants are a significant area of interest in alien abduction research. Some researchers have posited that these objects could serve as tracking devices or tools used by extraterrestrials to monitor abductees. In some cases, individuals who claim to have had repeated abductions report the discovery of multiple implants, often found in different areas of their bodies. The idea that these objects could be alien in origin is a controversial one, as no definitive evidence has been provided to prove that these implants come from outside of Earth. However, The persistence of these reports and the inability of doctors to identify the objects through conventional medical means has led some to speculate that they are indeed the result of extraterrestrial contact. In addition to implants, other physical evidence includes burns or scars that abductees claim to have developed following their encounters. These marks are often described as being unusual in their shape or location, sometimes appearing in patterns that are difficult to explain through ordinary means. For example, some people have reported circular or triangular burn marks on their skin, which are sometimes found in conjunction with strange bruising or other abnormalities. These marks are often discovered after the abduction experience, adding to the sense of mystery and raising questions about what might have caused them. While the existence of physical evidence in abduction cases is intriguing, it is important to recognize the challenges involved in verifying such evidence. In many cases, medical professionals are unable to offer clear explanations for the marks, objects, or physical conditions experienced by abductees. This lack of definitive answers often leads to a sense of frustration for those involved in the investigations, as they are left with more questions than answers. Skeptics argue that the physical evidence could be the result of psychological factors, environmental conditions, or even self-inflicted injuries. Others suggest that the human body may be capable of producing unusual physiological responses under extreme stress, which could explain some of the physical phenomena associated with abductions. The debate over the physical evidence in alien abduction cases highlights the complexity of the phenomenon. While some researchers remain open to the idea that this evidence points to an extraterrestrial explanation, others are quick to point out the lack of conclusive proof. Nevertheless, the persistence of physical evidence in many abduction stories cannot be easily dismissed. These strange marks, implants, and medical anomalies remain a key aspect of the abduction narrative and continue to fuel both belief and skepticism. Ultimately, the question of physical evidence in alien abductions remains unresolved. However, the discovery of unexplained objects, unusual marks, and strange medical conditions continues to be a significant element of these stories. Whether these pieces of evidence are proof of extraterrestrial involvement or simply a byproduct of psychological or environmental factors, they add to the intrigue and mystery surrounding alien abductions, making them one of the most fascinating and puzzling phenomena in modern history. The cultural influence of alien abduction stories cannot be understated. Over the years, these accounts have not only captivated the imaginations of millions, but they have also significantly shaped our understanding of extraterrestrial life, the unknown, and even our own societal fears and desires. What began as a fringe phenomenon, often met with skepticism or ridicule, has grown into a cultural staple that crosses boundaries of age, nationality, and background. Alien abduction stories have become an integral part of pop culture, influencing movies, television shows, books, and even public discourse. These stories are no longer just tales of individual encounters. They have become a reflection of the collective anxiety and fascination with the unknown. The widespread interest in alien abductions is evident in the vast number of books, documentaries, and films that have been created on the subject. Movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977, and The Fourth Kind, 2009, popularized the idea of alien contact and abductions, portraying the experiences as both thrilling and terrifying. These films have shaped the public's perception of what an abduction might look like: bright lights, shadowy figures, and an eerie sense of isolation. The portrayal of alien encounters as profound, life-changing events has been consistent across a variety of media, solidifying the cultural narrative that alien abductions are not just personal experiences, but shared phenomena that resonate with many. As more people come forward with their own stories, it's clear that alien abduction accounts have evolved into a collective cultural myth, deeply embedded in the way we view the extraterrestrial and the unexplained. In addition to films, television shows like The X-Files, 1993 to 2002, have played a pivotal role in shaping the public's imagination about alien abductions. The series, which delves into government conspiracies, paranormal phenomena, and UFO sightings, brought the concept of abductions into the mainstream, framing them as part of a larger, hidden reality. The show's success solidified the idea that UFOs and abductions were not merely fantasy, but a legitimate and mysterious aspect of human existence that needed to be explored. By blending elements of horror, conspiracy, and investigative drama, The X-Files captured the imagination of viewers and raised questions about the nature of reality and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. It played a key role in normalizing the idea of alien encounters, making it not only a topic of intrigue, but one worthy of serious investigation. At the heart of the cultural influence of alien abductions is the role they play in expressing humanity's deeper fears and desires. The fear of the unknown, the desire for contact with otherworldly beings, and the existential questions surrounding life beyond Earth are all encapsulated in abduction stories. These narratives reflect our most fundamental questions about our place in the universe. Are we alone? What would contact with alien beings mean for humanity? These questions, though never fully answered, form the basis for the stories we tell about abductions. For many, the idea of being chosen or taken by an alien race taps into the deep, unconscious need to know that there is more to existence than meets the eye, that we are part of a larger, cosmic plan. This fascination with the unknown is part of a broader human tendency to seek out mystery and adventure, especially when it involves the potential for something greater than ourselves. Alien abduction stories also tap into a more primal fear, the fear of powerlessness. Many abductees describe the sensation of being completely at the mercy of these otherworldly beings, with little to no control over their own fate. This sense of helplessness reflects broader societal anxieties, particularly in an age where technology and global forces often leave individuals feeling powerless. The idea of being taken without consent, often subjected to medical experiments or invasive procedures, speaks to a fear of being violated or exploited by forces beyond our comprehension or control. In this sense, alien abductions are not just personal experiences, but cultural metaphors for the loss of autonomy in a rapidly changing world. At the same time, these abduction stories can also reflect a more hopeful narrative, one that speaks to humanity's desire for contact with other intelligent beings. The idea of extraterrestrial life offers the tantalizing possibility of a greater cosmic community, where humans are not alone in the universe. Some abductees report a sense of peace or spiritual enlightenment after their experiences, as though the encounter has granted them access to a higher understanding of the universe or their place in it. This element of transcendence, while not universal, adds an additional layer to the narrative of alien abductions, suggesting that such encounters might offer more than just terror. They might offer a glimpse into a larger, more interconnected reality. In many ways, the cultural influence of alien abduction stories has played a role in shaping the way society thinks about science, technology, and the limits of human knowledge. As UFO sightings and abduction accounts continue to gain attention, the question of what is real and what is imagined becomes increasingly difficult to answer. Government disclosures about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, have added legitimacy to the notion that there is more to the UFO and abduction phenomena than previously thought. These revelations have led to an increased public interest in the subject, suggesting that the possibility of extraterrestrial life is no longer just a topic for science fiction enthusiasts, but one that could have real-world implications. The media has been crucial in this shift in perception. By reporting on UFO sightings, government investigations, and abduction stories, the media has moved the conversation from the realm of the fantastical to that of the plausible. The cultural narrative around alien abductions has gone from being a fringe interest to a mainstream conversation, reflecting society's growing curiosity and openness to the possibility of life beyond Earth. This shift in cultural attitudes is evident in the increased number of documentaries, news reports, and even academic studies that explore the alien abduction phenomenon. It has become a topic that blends fact and fiction, science and speculation, as society continues to wrestle with its understanding of the unknown. Ultimately, alien abduction stories have become an enduring cultural force, one that reflects both the universal human longing for knowledge and the deep-seated fears of what might exist beyond our understanding. These stories continue to captivate and challenge us, making us question the nature of reality and the limits of human perception. Whether seen as a reflection of societal anxieties, a form of entertainment, or a genuine glimpse into the unknown, alien abductions are a phenomenon that continues to shape our cultural landscape, pushing the boundaries of what we know and what we believe to be possible. As we venture into the modern era, the investigation of alien abductions continues to evolve in response to shifting societal, technological, and governmental changes. What was once seen as a fringe phenomenon, subject to ridicule or skepticism, has gradually gained a degree of mainstream acceptance, particularly in the wake of high-profile government disclosures, new technological advancements, and an increased public interest in the UFO phenomenon. The 21st century has seen a renewed interest in the topic, with both public and academic circles taking a more serious approach to understanding the nature of alien encounters, especially abductions. One of the most significant events in this renewed interest was the Pentagon's 2020 release of several previously classified videos depicting UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. These videos, filmed by military pilots, showed flying objects exhibiting behavior that defied the laws of physics as we understand them. While the release of these videos didn't directly confirm the existence of extraterrestrial life or the phenomenon of abductions, it reignited public curiosity about UFOs and what might be lurking in our skies. For many, these disclosures represented the first step in a longer process of transparency regarding government knowledge of UFOs, which had long been the subject of conspiracy theories. The acknowledgement by official institutions, particularly the military and intelligence agencies, that UAPs are real and warrant investigation has shifted the conversation from one of skepticism to one of intrigue and genuine inquiry. As a result, more people have begun to look at alien abduction cases through a new lens, with some researchers now calling for a more scientific approach to investigating these phenomena. In particular, psychologists, neuroscientists, and other experts are beginning to collaborate in the hope of unraveling the mystery behind abductions. The work of researchers such as Dr. John Mack, a psychiatrist at Harvard, who conducted in-depth interviews with abduction claimants, has become a crucial part of understanding the phenomenon from a psychological standpoint. Dr. Mack's work emphasized the idea that abduction experiences, regardless of whether they were caused by extraterrestrial entities or not, were still deeply meaningful and transformative for the individuals involved. His research also explored the possibility that abductions could be tied to broader cultural, spiritual, and psychological processes, helping to further validate the experiences of those who reported them. At the same time, advancements in technology have given modern investigators new tools to study abduction cases with a greater degree of precision and reliability. For example, the rise of hypnosis and regression therapy has been a common method used by some researchers to help abductees recover memories of their experiences. However, this technique remains highly controversial. While some claim that hypnosis has helped unlock repressed memories, skeptics argue that it can lead to the creation of false memories, influenced by suggestion or external factors. Nonetheless, technological innovations, such as improved brain imaging, neuroimaging techniques, and psychophysiological measurements are now being utilized to explore how the brain responds during abduction experiences. These advancements may help researchers gain insights into whether these experiences have a basis in altered states of consciousness or whether they might be a product of physiological and psychological factors that remain unexplained. Additionally, modern-day investigations are beginning to integrate broader, cross-disciplinary methods. By examining historical abduction cases, researchers are identifying patterns and similarities that can provide a more comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon. For instance, several cases of abductions reported in the 20th century share similar elements, such as the appearance of gray aliens, the sensation of being physically examined, and the perception of time distortion. These consistent details raise important questions about whether these stories are the result of psychological processes like mass suggestion or whether they reflect a more profound truth. Investigating these patterns through a multidisciplinary approach incorporating psychology, anthropology, sociology, and even physics, could yield new insights into the underlying nature of alien abductions and their place within the broader context of human consciousness and experience. There has also been a significant shift in how the public perceives those who claim to have been abducted. Whereas early abductees were often met with skepticism, mockery, or outright disbelief, there is now a growing empathy and curiosity toward those who have shared their experiences. This change is partly due to the increasing number of individuals who have come forward to share their stories. The rise of online communities, podcasts, and social media platforms has made it easier for people to connect with others who have had similar experiences, providing a sense of solidarity and validation. Many of these individuals are no longer silent or afraid to speak about their encounters. In fact, some have formed support groups and organizations aimed at helping abductees understand and cope with their experiences, while others have taken part in public speaking events and documentaries, further normalizing the conversation. This growing acceptance of the alien abduction phenomenon is also influenced by the broader cultural landscape. As science fiction and speculative media continue to shape public perceptions of extraterrestrial life, the line between fiction and reality becomes increasingly blurred. TV shows, movies, and books about alien encounters often present stories that resonate with those who believe they've had similar experiences, creating a shared cultural narrative that reflects the larger questions surrounding humanity's place in the universe. As these narratives become more entrenched in popular culture, the notion of alien contact, including abductions, begins to feel less like a fantastical idea and more like a plausible reality that we might one day have to face. The role of mainstream media in this shift cannot be underestimated. Although abduction stories have often been sensationalized or dismissed as entertainment, more serious outlets have begun to engage with the topic in a manner that is both respectful and exploratory. Documentaries, investigative reports, and academic studies on UFOs and abductions have increased in number, and their approach tends to be more nuanced, often providing a platform for individuals to share their experiences without fear of ridicule. This openness has fostered a growing body of knowledge and research, ensuring that the investigation of alien abductions remains a relevant topic for discussion, even as our scientific understanding of the phenomenon continues to evolve. In conclusion, the investigation into alien abductions is far from over. While we still lack concrete evidence to definitively prove or disprove the existence of extraterrestrial life or alien encounters, there is a growing recognition that these experiences are not easily dismissed. They represent a complex intersection of human psychology, culture, technology, and mystery that continues to captivate and intrigue. As more research is conducted, and as societal attitudes continue to shift, we may find ourselves closer to understanding what is truly happening when individuals report being taken by extraterrestrials. Whether these experiences are the result of otherworldly forces or more earthly causes, they remain a fascinating and deeply human aspect of our ongoing quest to understand the universe and our place within it. As we reflect on the phenomenon of alien abductions, it becomes increasingly clear that these experiences occupy a unique space between the realms of belief and skepticism, fact and fiction. For many of those who claim to have been abducted, the experience is not just a singular event, but a life-altering event that reshapes their perception of reality. Abductees often report feelings of isolation, as they find themselves unable to explain what happened to them in a way that others can understand or accept. This sense of being disconnected from the world around them can be exacerbated by the ridicule or disbelief they often face from friends, family, and society at large. Yet, despite this, many remain steadfast in their belief that what they experienced was real. This unwavering conviction, even in the face of widespread skepticism, speaks to the profound impact that abductions have on individuals and their ability to make sense of their experiences. For those who have experienced alien abductions, the psychological effects can be both profound and long-lasting. Many individuals report experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, symptoms, such as nightmares, flashbacks, and anxiety, following their encounters. These symptoms are often exacerbated by the lack of validation or understanding from others, which can leave abductees feeling as though they are trapped in a world where their truth is not accepted. The trauma they experience is not only related to the abduction itself, but also to the social and psychological isolation they feel as a result of their inability to communicate their experience to others in a meaningful way. This isolation can manifest in various ways. Abductees often find it difficult to relate to others, especially when they try to share their experiences. In some cases, the very act of speaking about their abduction can lead to further alienation, as those around them dismiss or ridicule their claims. In turn, this can result in a deep sense of loneliness, as the individual struggles to make sense of what happened to them and seeks validation that is often not forthcoming. This psychological isolation can lead some abductees to question their own sanity, as they are left grappling with the uncertainty of whether their experiences were the result of external forces or simply a product of their own minds. Despite these challenges, many abductees report that their experiences led them to a greater understanding of themselves and the world around them. For some, the abduction serves as a catalyst for spiritual awakening or personal transformation. They often describe a sense of enlightenment or a deeper connection to the universe, as though the encounter provided them with insights that were previously unavailable. These feelings of transcendence can be both comforting and unsettling, as they create a sense of knowing something that others do not, an awareness that can be both empowering and isolating. Some abductees find solace in connecting with others who have had similar experiences, joining support groups or communities that offer a safe space for sharing and understanding. This sense of community can be healing, as it provides a sense of belonging and validation that is often lacking in their broader social circles. For many, the emotional aftermath of an abduction can also involve a desire to understand the larger implications of what happened. If extraterrestrials are indeed visiting our planet and interacting with humans in ways that we do not fully comprehend, what does this mean for the future of humanity? The possibility of contact with beings from other worlds challenges many of our assumptions about life, consciousness, and the nature of reality itself. The questions raised by abduction experiences are not easily answered, and they often leave individuals with a deep sense of existential wonder and curiosity. For some, these questions become an obsession, leading them to seek out further encounters or to dedicate their lives to the study of UFOs and extraterrestrial phenomena. This pursuit of knowledge and understanding can serve as a source of meaning and purpose, helping abductees make sense of their experiences in a way that offers them some degree of control over an otherwise overwhelming and inexplicable event. There is also the matter of the cultural and societal impact of alien abduction stories. The stories themselves, whether shared through personal testimony or mass media, shape how we, as a society, view the unknown. Abduction narratives often serve as a mirror, reflecting our collective fears and desires, particularly regarding control, power, and our place in the universe. These stories provoke deep philosophical questions about human nature and our relationship with the cosmos. Are we truly alone in the universe? Or are we just one of many species that have yet to make contact with more advanced civilizations? And if extraterrestrials are real, what does that mean for our understanding of life, the mind, and our future as a species? The portrayal of abduction stories in the media, from documentaries to fictional films, has only intensified these questions. As alien abductions are increasingly presented in mainstream outlets, the collective consciousness continues to wrestle with the idea that something beyond our understanding may be taking place. These portrayals often oscillate between depicting abductions as terrifying, violating experiences, and portraying them as transformative, spiritual encounters. The media plays a critical role in shaping our perceptions of these phenomena, influencing how we relate to them and how we interpret the experiences of those who claim to have been abducted. This cultural discourse perpetuates the mystery, creating a cycle of intrigue and fascination that keeps the topic alive in public discussion. It's also important to consider the ways in which societal changes might influence the rise in alien abduction reports. The increase in abduction stories over the decades can be seen as part of a broader cultural shift toward questioning authority, exploring alternative realities, and embracing the unknown. As our world becomes more technologically advanced and our understanding of the universe grows, the boundaries between science fiction and science fact continue to blur. The rise of personal technology, such as smartphones with cameras and recording devices, has allowed individuals to capture and share their experiences more easily, giving more voices a platform. The Internet, too, has created global communities where experiences can be shared and validated, offering a space for individuals to find like-minded people and to discuss their encounters openly. In the end, the question of what is truly happening during alien abductions remains unanswered. Whether these experiences are the result of extraterrestrial contact, psychological phenomena, or a combination of factors, they continue to captivate and intrigue. What is clear is that these encounters are more than just strange occurrences. They are events that challenge our understanding of reality, our place in the universe, and the very nature of human consciousness. For those who have lived through these experiences, the mystery is far from over. And for the rest of us, the allure of the unknown continues to pull us in, leaving us to wonder whether the truth lies among the stars or within ourselves. As we conclude our exploration of alien abductions, it becomes evident that these experiences, regardless of their origins, continue to spark deep fascination and reflection in both those who claim to have been abducted and the broader public. What began as a niche phenomenon has grown into a subject of serious inquiry, debate, and intrigue, and the journey to understand it is far from over. The question of whether alien abductions are genuine extraterrestrial encounters or the result of psychological, cultural, or societal influences remains unresolved. However, it is clear that these stories are more than mere curiosities. They are deeply intertwined with the human experience and reflect our anxieties, hopes, and thirst for knowledge about the unknown. For the individuals who have had these experiences, the impact is often profound, leaving a permanent mark on their perceptions of reality and their place in the universe. Many report feelings of isolation and alienation as they struggle to communicate their experiences to others who may not share their understanding or belief. This sense of being an outsider can create lasting emotional and psychological challenges, but it can also inspire a search for meaning, connection, and a deeper understanding of the world around them. These encounters can serve as catalysts for spiritual awakening, personal growth, or a shift in worldview, as those who have been affected grapple with existential questions that remain unanswered. Culturally, alien abductions have had a significant impact, shaping everything from popular media to the way society thinks about extraterrestrial life. The narratives surrounding abductions tap into universal themes of power, control, the unknown, and the possibility of life beyond Earth. As our understanding of the universe expands through scientific discoveries and advancements in space exploration, the idea that we may not be alone in the cosmos becomes increasingly plausible. The idea of extraterrestrial life, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, is now a subject of serious scientific inquiry, with missions to Mars, the study of exoplanets, and the search for biosignatures leading humanity closer to the possibility of contact with other forms of life. In recent years, government disclosures and the declassification of military documents related to UFOs have added fuel to the fire, with the public now more curious and open to the idea that some of the unexplained phenomena in our skies may not be of human origin. While these disclosures do not confirm the existence of alien abductions, they suggest that we may be closer to understanding the mystery of UFOs and the strange occurrences associated with them. Ultimately, the quest for answers continues, and the discussion surrounding alien abductions will likely persist for years to come. Whether viewed as a result of extraterrestrial encounters, psychological phenomena, or some other unknown cause, these stories continue to captivate the human imagination and challenge our understanding of reality. The search for truth, however elusive, remains a central part of the human condition, driving us to explore the unknown and perhaps ultimately uncover the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding.